In today's video, we are going into your questions and answers about the lettings and property market in 2026 as we come to the Renters Reform Bill, which is just around the corner, or may even be in place, depending on when you watch this. We just wanted to get into the questions and see how we can help you and hopefully add a little bit of value. So my name is Ehsan Ahmed. I am the founder of Right Room. We are a specialist lettings and guaranteed rent company based in London, with offices also in the South Coast. And I'm going to get into your questions. So firstly, name a time your company expertise delivered real results in under 30 days. Okay, so one example that comes to mind is where we had a client who had basically given their property to a subletting company who they'd given just off the fact that the money was much better than anything else that they'd had out there. They didn't do much reference checks, and unfortunately that subletting company had just basically trashed the place because of the number of people that it had in there. So we were able to sort of fast track the eviction, just sort of come to terms on behalf of the landlord with the subletting company. We were able to get everybody out, and then the next step was to go in there and sort of get the property renovated, and then the last step was to get it rented at a real reasonable, correct price, and move forward. And so that I feel was a real turnaround, and 30 days shows you the real example. So speed does matter, absolutely, and within 30 days, thankfully in this specific situation, a lot was achieved. One win, can you describe one win for the landlord, one win for the tenant? Can you describe both? So I mean, with us, we don't pick sides. With us, it's a win-win every single time. So every single time we place a tenant into a property, you know, in every situation, the tenant is happy with the property. Otherwise, we don't force tenants into properties. You know, we go above and beyond to show them the right property that's for them. And in terms of the landlord, again, if they're not comfortable with a certain tenant, we do not force them. So in that situation, you know, we ensure that there's transparency from the outset, and once that's in place, then in most cases it's fairly self-explanatory. And why manage hundreds of properties instead of just owning your own? Because every property we manage is worth millions and is treated like it is. So across the board, you know, when we're managing hundreds of properties, it requires a lot. It requires us to constantly stay on top of voids, smarter maintenance. It requires us to have complete tenant liaison, complete landlord liaison, and it just requires you to have a fully functional business and not a one-man band. Now that Section 21 is gone, what's your plan the next time a tenant stops paying rent? Okay, so now that Section 21 is gone, you're right, this is something that is going to be a challenge, but it's not the end of the world. So let's look at the facts. So if your tenant is not paying rent, then as per the new Reform Bill regulations, we have 3 months of arrears before we can serve them Section 8, and then that procedure can be fast-tracked. Outside of that, so assuming your tenant is paying rent and you still want your property back, there's 2 ways within which you can get your property back. The first is if you want to sell your property, and the second is if you as a landlord want to move into your property. In both of those circumstances, you have to give 4 months notice to your tenant in order to make it happen. Do I need to upgrade EPCs right now? Currently, it's not mandatory yet, but starting now spreads the cost and boosts property value long term. I believe this comes into place in 2028.